Good morning. This is Andy White with Epygi, and I will be your host this morning. Thank you for joining. Many of you are partners with Clearfly Communications, and we want to thank Bob and Tom at Clearfly for helping to organize the call today. This morning we'll be discussing Epygi's eQall Softphone. What is eQall? eQall is Epygi's softphone that provides mobility and flexibility to the end customer. It can be used as a replacement for your desk phone or as a complement to your desk phone. For cloud-based installations, it's ideal. No need to have any equipment on premise for your phone service. eQall is freely downloaded from the Epygi website for the Windows applications, and for your smartphones, you get it from the Google Play Store or Apple Store for iOS devices. A license is required to activate their use on the QX PBX. However, each QX PBX includes one free license. It should also be noted that with that eCall with the ECQX is actually complementary with each extension that you have. So that's a no license needed on those. Some of the features, you can have multiple SIP accounts. You can have up to 8 accounts. So this is useful. So, we do have users where they have 2 accounts, maybe from 2 different offices, two different locations. They can have 2 different extensions, one in each location. So that's beneficial. We have auto provisioning with a QX generated QR code, which you're going to see today. Of course, all the basic functions like hold, three-way call, transfer, caller ID, call history, etc. Has a real-time call quality indicator. All your basic codecs that you're used to, G711, A-Law, MU-Law, 722, Opus, G729, ILBC. Also has video support. It works with your phone's native dialer on your mobile device. Has voicemail notification, PBX do not disturb and call forwarding options to toggle those on or off. Multiple contact lists, so you can have favorites. You can have your Outlook contacts with the PC version. You can have your mobile contacts and PBX extensions. And the call will not close if a GSM call comes in. So in addition to the basic eCall, you have some programmable keys, similar like what you used to on your desk phone. So you can program things like general voicemail, call blocking, speed dial, call parks, watched extensions, conference rooms, callback. Maybe you can have scheduling, maybe for like a night service button. So those can all be programmed and have open with a separate window within eCall. Has instant messaging in several sessions, so it can keep track of each different session. Secure communications via TLS, SRTP, or secure SIP. It automatically registers with the PBX anywhere. You can upload your own logo from the QX. And it has push notifications out to the cell phone for saving your battery life. So by doing so, it'll wake up the app as needed, so it's not always running in the background. So that helps to save that battery life, right? eCall auto provisioning. So we make it very easy to provision eCall, as you'll see. User just selects to use the eCall endpoint on the QX device, and then QX device will synchronize with our cloud and produces a QR code that'll be used for configuring the eCall endpoint. For your smartphones, you could just point the mobile phone to the QR code, and that's it. It's done. It's configured automatically, ready to go. For the Windows eCall devices, you'll load the QR code with a file. It uses Epygi's enhanced provisioning to facilitate the registration anywhere. QX, it must be able to obviously get to the internet to sync with our cloud, and also for the eQall devices that are external to reach back to the QX. And for the admin, they could just simply email those QR codes to their end users. We also have an add-on. This is the eQall Receptionist console. Okay, it's available for Windows. It allows you to watch the call status of up to 100 extensions on the QX. It is a separate license per receptionist at $295 per user. So you can keep track of all the different extensions, see those, and helps the receptionist to be able to manage those. Okay, what I'd like to do now is we're going to take a look at the support portal where you can get information. Okay, we'll just go to the Epygi website, support portal. Okay, and then from there you can log in with your email. If you haven't done so already, you can complete this little register box. Registration, so you can register with us. No obligation to do so. It's a very quick registration. If you do complete that though, however, just be sure to notify myself or somebody else there at Epygi and let them know that you've registered. So that way we can update your account so you get full access to all the information. Otherwise, it'll be somewhat limited. All right, so once you log in, you have your account, you log in, you'll spend most of your time right here in the knowledge base. We're going to go to software applications. And there's three folders here. The eQall for MS Windows, and then the two at the right for eQall for Android and eQall for iOS. If you click on the folder and then click on software, it's actually has release notes, and so you can look at that. There is a, if we click on one we're looking at today will be the eQall for MS Windows. So we click on software. So here's the download for the Windows version. You simply click on it, agree to the terms of use, and then you click on the link below, and that will download it. Okay, I've already downloaded mine, so we're not going to take the time to do that. And then there's the latest release notes for the version that's currently for Windows, the 1.12.5. And then I recommend that you take a look at the user guide. And while we're here, I've already got it open. So let's take a quick glance at it. So this is the user guide for eQall. So if we scroll down a little bit, there's a how to install eQall. So once you open it, shows you how to get the account, how do you go to the accounts, shows you some basic information, how to make your basic phone calls. Let's see, shows you all the different menus, the notification bar, configuring the programmable keys, speed dial buttons, call park. Let's see, a little further down. Information on how to do call handling, things like a consultative transfer, step-by-step, how to do a three-way conference, some troubleshooting tips. So it's a real good document. When we get done, if you have any questions, additional questions that need to be clarified, just come back, take a look at the document, and hopefully it'll clear it up for you. All right, so let's, next thing we want to do is take a look at the QX. So I got a local QX200 here in my office that we're going to be logging into. I will say this a couple times, but just make sure that you're on the latest software, 6.5.16 in my case. All right, we're going to look at the start with the licensing. So I go to Setup, License Features, and there's two licenses that we want to take a look at. The first one being the towards the bottom, says eQall IP lines support, and you can see that I've got a license key installed for 10 users because the system comes, remember, it comes with one free that you can use for testing, or uh, the user, you can have it for one of your users if they just want to try it out. So that's there, it's available. The first one's available on all free for all on all the systems, and then you can get a license key for the additional eCall users. All right, and the second license is the eCall receptionist, and I mentioned that's per receptionist, and I've got that license for 8 users. All right, when you go to order your license, just be sure to send us the unique ID for your system that identifies your office, or send us the serial number, which is written on the bottom of the unit, and that way we can generate the license key for you with your purchase order. Okay, if you're configuring eCall, we want to go take a look at you just want to enable, there's not much to configure for the initial setup. Just go to basic setup, and there's a button here for ECMON, and this state you want to make sure that's enabled. That's going to help the system to generate those configuration files to be used with eCall. So next we'll look at our extensions. Okay, here I've got a list of my extensions management. It has showing all my extensions, the auto attendants at the top, then you have the users extension. The one we're going to be playing with today will be extension 107. You're just going to click on the little shield there. That'll take you to, that'll do an edit. That'll take you to the administrative settings for that extension. All right, so let me go up and either click on that, or you can also click on the edit button. All right, so that will take you to the edit screen. All right, what we're going to do now is, let's see, and my computer is running really slow for some reason. Let me just refresh the screen. All right, so in the general settings, you can specify a user name or whatever you want to call it, and you have to attach a line to the extension. In this case, I'm on IP line number 8. So it's that IP line number 8, that's where you're going to configure the device, the endpoint, namely eCall. So if I want to get to that IP line 8, I can either go to the bottom, down the bottom left, it says go to the line settings, or on the left side panel here, I can click on interfaces and then IP lines. You can see all the different IP lines. I'm going to click on IP line 8, which is the one we're looking at. Okay, you have it for your phone model. You've got a drop-down list of all the different phones and devices that we're supporting, and you're going to want to click on Epygi eCall. You'll provision, there'll be a username, in this case local extension 107, and then there'll be a secure password that the system's going to use. And then once you press save, the system's going to go off and create this QR code. It'll take a moment for that to happen. It'll come back after you press save, and it'll generate the QR code. If there's any changes on the system, any IP address changes, external IP changes, or anything like that, you'll want to come in here and press save again and maybe regenerate that QR code. All right, so once, if I had a smart device, a smartphone, I could simply open up the open up the app, which I've already downloaded from, say like the Apple store. You open up the app, go to the account settings, and click on the account, and then use the phone camera to simply point to the QR code. I think most of us are used to getting these QR codes now, but so you can go ahead and do that, and it will automatically configure. For the Windows device, you're going to right-click, or in the case if you have a remote user and you need to send them this QR code, you can save the image. Okay, you can save, click Save Image As, and you can basically, you're going to save that file. And I've already saved it. In this case, you can label it or name it whatever you want. In this case, extension 107. So you can save that and email it to them, and that's what they'll use to generate to create that configuration file. All right, so that's pretty much it on a QX as far as your basic configuration there. So now what we want to do next is let's open up eQall, which I've already installed. I've taken the time to go ahead and do that ahead of time. I've installed the eQall app on my Windows PC here. You can see there's no default account configured at the top. So the first thing I do when I open it, I click on Accounts, and then you'll see a QR symbol there. And I click on it, and or point my mouse over it, turns red, and then just click on it. Okay, then it's going to go to the locate. You can take it to the location where you get the QR code and open it. And it's at that point, you can see the settings. It's already downloaded the account. Before I enable it, you're going to want to probably go to the this little pencil here. That's the account settings. Do an edit. There's if you're using it for like intercom, where it does like an auto answer, you can choose to mute the microphone so it's not an open mic on incoming calls. You can also play a warning tone. You can have different ringtones. Okay, there's the SMS chat settings. You can specify a signature. So with SMS, if you're doing like a group chat, you're sending messages out to an external customer, you can have a signature there. It might be your phone number, contact information, whatever it might be. All right, so the main thing I want to point out here though is the down below it says the connect via. So when the QR code loads and gets the config for eQall, it has all the different interfaces of the PBX. Okay, it has the LAN IP, which we're not going to use, so I'm going to disable that one. Has the WAN IP, the public IP. Now you can disable the ones that you're not going to be using. It just so happens that in my scenario, my PC is located in the same network subnet as my QX WAN port. So I'm going to click on that one and move it up. So that way that's going to be your first option. When I connect to the PBX, it's going to connect to the WAN port. And it makes sense because it's on the, they're both on the same network. Okay, at the top, there's an option that says use outbound proxy. That's enabled by default. Okay, so this is the use outbound proxy uh, is a method that, yeah, so keep in mind, the eCall is going to be using SIP messaging to communicate and make calls and register and communicate back to the PBX, back to the QX. Okay, so you need to keep the security in check on the PBX to make sure that only the external locations, external IP addresses are allowed to communicate with your PBX. Okay, and by that I mean your SIP trunks. So you would have a firewall rule that would allow the SIP trunks, their IP addresses, to communicate with your PBX. Well, you can also enable one for eCall. So keep in mind, if you're using eCall, it could be located anywhere, especially these smartphones as they're moving around. So it's going to want to be connecting back to the QX from any IP address. And obviously it's not practical, or at least it should be hopefully obvious. It's not practical to leave your system wide open to be accessed from anybody in the outside internet. Okay, so what you can do is you can enable this option, use outbound proxy, and that's going to send all of our SIP messages to proxy.sip.epygi.com. And now on your firewall, your external firewall or the QX firewall, you can enable to receive messages only from that proxy server. Again, proxy.sip.epygi.com. All right, that allows you to maintain your security. And then maybe in the cases with your smartphone, you may want to use stun. That's going to identify the external IP address. All right, let's go back. So now that I've created that, I specify which IP addresses I'm using. I'm going to enable the account. It turned green right away, so that's a good thing up at the top. If I put my mouse at the top where the green dot is, it says Andy eCall extension 107. It's using the local extension 107 at the QX IP address. All right, so it is configured, it's registered, and now I should be able to make a phone call. Let's see how this goes. All right, let's bring in my local extension, and hello, test, test, test. So now I got a lot of feedback. All right, so I made a local call to my desk phone, and I should be able to call from the phone to eCall as well. Calling extension 107, and the call's connected. And I released it right away. Okay. If there's some options at the top, you can use this. You can pin the application to the top to always keep it on top of your other applications. Okay, there's a logo which that can be changed if you wanted to. You can change that from the QX. Put your own logo in there. The color scheme here can be changed. At the top, you've got your status. You can change it from online, away, do not disturb, in a meeting, etc. This is for your voicemail checking. If you have any voicemails, you just click on that, and it'll take you to your voicemail. This is to be used for call forwarding, to turn that on and off. And we'll come back in a little bit and look at these other options. Okay, if you're making a video call, you can click on that one, bottom left where you see the green camera. Okay, at the very bottom, I can click on that, it shows me all my recent phone calls. There's all calls, missed calls. You can click on it, you can delete all your call records. Your address book, well, actually the contacts, and it'll bring up all your contacts either from Outlook, personal contacts, if you've added those contacts from your QX, and then you can, if you can add, you can have a favorites list of contacts. All right, then you've got your keypad for making calls. So let's say you want to make a call. Let's say to again to extension 100. So get the call in progress. Let me mute that call. So while the call is in progress, you've got you can put the call on hold. You got a keypad here, so you could dial send DTMF digits. You can mute the speaker, mute your microphone, start the video, enable video on the call. You can do your transfer. You could send a message. Let's say if this was an eCall, you can do a chat. If you need to make a new call, you can click on that. So if I need to make a new call, just click on it. And now I can make a second call. Now you'll see that the first call has been put on hold. If I want to go back to it, at the top right, I can restore the original call. All right, while the call is in progress, you can see the audio statistics of the call. It shows you which codec is being used. It shows any packet loss, so that's available. It has your timer there at the top. All right, let me go ahead and release that call. Let's go to the bottom right. Let's look at some more settings. Actually, if you look at, let's see, chat, I could do a chat, let's say to, I don't have another eCall configured, but let's say if I want to send a chat message to extension 103, that's actually a desk phone. And down here I can say, hello. And press send. And on my phone over here next to me, it's a desk phone. And I can view the messages from that phone. It can show me the messages that were sent. All right. If you're doing the SMS messaging, you'd have all those messages listed here. You'd see your group chats and all those. All right. Let's go back to settings. Let's take a look at some of these other options. Let's look at the general settings. You can have it start up on boot of your PC. You can have it check automatically check for new updates when eCall starts. You can load your Microsoft contacts, have it auto answer, control plus enter, which would send a message. And then I have the option to use a distinctive ringtone whenever I get calls on that extension. Advanced settings, this is more for your video options. And some of the video settings specify the audio devices that'll be used. So you can choose the microphone, the speaker that'll be used, the speaker volume, and then you can even have a different ringing device. You can choose which one will be used for the ringing on the incoming calls, and that could be useful. Okay, video devices. If I had video enabled, you'd see the video. So troubleshooting. So if you do have some problems, or you're trying to get some more information on a, let's say if their user's having some problems, maybe the account, maybe it's not registering with the system, at the PBX, then what you do is you'd just come in here, you'd enable this verbose option. Verbose is actually going to add another layer of information. So it's going to use some extra memory. So then you go in and reproduce the call or the registration or whatever you're trying to do. Enable the account, disable it, and then you'll click on the send logs. And once you do so, it's going to open up Outlook in my case, and it's going to send the email with those logs attached. So right now it's trying to go to support@epygi.com. I can change that, send it to my own personal email. That way I could get the information that I need from the PBX as well as the information from eQall. It has the information here, has the file, and you send both of those, the QX log file as well as the eQall log file. So that way we could see both ends of the call and see if the eQall is even reaching to the PBX. So it might be an external firewall issue. All right, software update. You can have this, have it check for updates. Again, you can have it do that automatically when it opens. And I'm current. I've got the latest version, so that's a good thing. So the automatic software updates is nice, so you don't have to worry about your users getting behind, and if there's something, an update that's rolled out that's important and or more features, which we're always adding enhancements, so you can have that available to your users, and you don't have to reinstall it for them. All right, let's go back to the QX. I want to take a look at this IP line. If we look at IP line 8, and on the far right side, you have an option here called, it's MPK, multi-programmable keys. If I click on it, this is the same menu that you should be familiar with on programming the desk phones. You can program the keys from the QX. Well, you could do the same thing with eQall. You can choose, you got the drop down, it has all the different extensions, so you can do your watched extensions, call park extensions, shared mailboxes, your schedules for like night service, so you can have all those available. And you choose those, and you save those, and that sends the latest information out to the eQall. Let me minimize this once again. So now if I click on those horizontal lines, and I click there for it brings up the watched extensions. So I can use these like a DSS type key, click on it, rings the phone. So now I'm talking on the extension 100. And if the phones have a call in progress, you can see the call is active there. So all your different keys, you got your call parks, and that is a separate window. It's detached from the eQall. All right, the other option is we can do the receptionist console. So we go back to the accounts, and on your accounts, if you did have multiple accounts programmed, there's only going to be one that'll be used for making and originating calls. And if you need to switch it, you can do so with this little, see this little orange home or house there. Just click on it, and that's the one that'll be used for originating calls. So there'll be one that will be the default, let's call it. Okay, you got the this little option here. Looks like a display. You click on it, and this is for configuring the receptionist console. Again, it has to be licensed. This is licensed, and I'll point that out on the QX when we go back to it. You have to enable it on this extension. All right, we'll use the secure connection, and first thing you want to do is connect to the PBX, so it's connected, and once it's connected, then you can configure the extensions that will be used on the receptionist console. So I'm just going to go in here and just enable a few of these here real quickly. Maybe I want to grab some Call park extensions, those are good. You probably want those. So that should be good. I think we have enough extensions here. Let's do a couple more. All right, so once that's configured, I can go back. It says it's disconnected. And we reconnect. All right. You can use the, probably want to toggle it, probably want to close the application. All right, so it's disconnecting. You probably want to close eQall. And then when you reopen it, it will have those all those receptionist extensions on it. Okay, make sure you're choosing the right interface. So in this case, the 192.168.1.185. And I'm going to go ahead and close the application. And let's reopen it. Okay, and while that's reopening, I'm going to QX, and I want to show you the licensing. So for eQall, on this extension 107, keep in mind I had I think 8 licenses. So we go in and we'll edit this extension. And you'll see down here at the bottom on towards the left, it says licensing. Okay, and I've enabled the license for the eQall receptionist console. All right, so let's go back. We'll go to the accounts, go to the receptionist. All right, it's connected. And we're going to show the receptionist. Let me close the window here so you can see it a little bit better. So there's the receptionist console. You can see the users that are configured. So if there's a call in progress, let's see these 2 phones. If they're made a call to extension 100 to 103, you can see that those calls are in progress. So you can see who's busy, who's talking. You, as a receptionist, you can click on any one of these. Let's say if I click on that one, it'll call to that extension. Okay, you can group these together. Okay, let's say if I wanted to put these in a new group. Let's say if I wanted this extension and 103 and maybe a support call park. That's maybe you want that one also to be in a group. So you could do all that. Just slide it up there and we can rename that card. We'll name it to name it support. Maybe name this one sales. Okay, and by right-clicking on this, if you wanted, you could change the color. You could change it to, let's see, maybe to a green. Right, and so it helps if you're, with a receptionist, if they want to group the departments. If you uncheck it, it will remove the ones that are in that. It won't show those. If you just want to see those again, just click on that one. All right, so there's some nice options. I can call to the extension. I can leave a voicemail on it. Okay, so that's pretty much it, what I wanted to show with the eQall itself. Let's go back. We're going to look at the QX. Like to point out one scenario, let's say it's actually quite common. People want to use the eQall, the Softphone, um, as maybe as in tandem or parallel uh, with their desk phone. So that's quite common. So what we do is we can do that. We make that available with what we call a parent-child extension. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get the extension 107, get it working independently. It has its own IP line. Okay, IP line number 8, it's configured, it's working. And now you go in and edit the extension 107. And on this general settings, you'll see an option here. It's called Use Parent Extension. So you can specify which extension this eCall is going to be paired with. We're going to use 100. And you save that option. And once you do, you want to reboot the phones? No, that's fine. Once you save that, you basically lose all your settings on that extension 107 because all the functions, features, voicemail, all that is going to be controlled by the parent extension, in this case, extension 100. So now if you look at 107, it says it's a child of 100. And if I move the mouse over 100, see it has a little different color to it. And it says it has a child extension 107. I will point out that if you go to the admin settings of this extension 100, I do recommend that you enable this little option. By default, it's turned off. It says to allow concurrent calls to the parent-child group. That way, if let's say a call comes in and your eCall device isn't configured or it's not working, not registered, it won't disrupt the calls to the main desk phone. So enable that checkbox. All right. The other thing that we're doing with this parent-child configuration is we don't want to have people have to go in and purchase and order extra IP lines because the equal itself has to be configured to an IP line, in this case IP line number 8. But we don't expect people to have to go in and purchase the extra IP lines just to use this the eCall application with their desk phone. So how do we do that? So it sure looks like we're at, this scenario it's using 2 IP lines. However, we're doing a little bit of magic in the background. Whenever you configure a parent-child scenario, what we do is we go in here to lines and we will add an additional IP line to the number of IP lines that you have available. Okay, so if I only had IP lines 24 available to me, as soon as I do that parent-child configuration, it adds a 25th IP line and makes that available for use for other options or other extensions or IP lines or other phones or whatever it might be. All right, so that's how we're handling that scenario. All right, so we think that's fair enough. All right, for troubleshooting, there's not a lot to it. We've got a lot of diagnostics and tools and things like that to work with. You do want to come in here, maybe go if you're having some problems, make sure you can ping to, let's say, ping to ecmon.epygcloud.com. Just make sure that that's reachable because that's going to help in creating and generating that eCall config file. So you make sure the QX is able to reach that. It's accessible via port 9449. And so it helps generate again, the QR code. Okay, again, make sure that the eCall and the PBX itself, they're both using the latest software. Okay, there have been several updates here lately, some enhancements, some fixes, things like that. It's a pretty stable application right now. We did have some issues with IPv6 when the eCalls were out. Smartphones were using IPv6. There were some issues with that. That's been resolved in one of the latest releases, so definitely make sure you're on the latest software. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me go back here. On the eCall itself, there's not a lot you can do. You can enable the proxy server, enable or disable stun as far as troubleshooting goes. So let's wrap it up. I want to go back to the slides briefly. All right, as far as licensing goes, touch a little bit on the sales side here, where the eCall is basically about $45 per user. Okay, quantities of 4, 8, or 16. Larger quantities, you get a little bit of a discount on the per eCall license. All right, you can also, we have some bundles where you can bundle the IP lines and eCall. So if you need some additional IP lines for desk phones, things like that, you can bundle those. All right, the same stable, mature product that you've come to know and you're familiar with on the QX premise devices, QX50, 6100, etc. That same platform, same all with all the features and everything available on that product is also available on the ECQX. That's the Epygi cloud-based PBX. And I'd just like to mention that it's also available for order on Clearfly's marketplace, so you can order that. And if you have any questions, follow-up questions, concerns, or anything like that, you can just reach out to myself. That's andy.white@epygi.com, or of course to our sales team at sales.epygi.com. We appreciate your support, your business, and we look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. So thank you so very much. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and thank you for being an Epygi and Clearfly partner.